It's time for another Rogues Gallery video. What a time to be alive. My recording software tells me that I'm recording in 4,000 frames per second, so this is going to be a treat for you. I can't even imagine the crystal clear quality. Anyway, like most games, we gotta pick a character. You start with just the peasant. He's pretty terrible. Well, he's not that bad. But I've unlocked a few different classes, so we're gonna be a veteran. We can also customize what we are and who we are. Although I'm pretty happy with my dude with some kind of skin poking out from his armor. And then, if I wanted to, I could spend some experience gems on stats. Unfortunately, stats get really costly the more you play, and it's better to just kind of save your gems for the actual run, so I'm going to do that. So the class I chose is Veteran, and I did that because he starts with both armor and, very helpfully, a pretty good starting weapon, the sword. My mouse is freaking out right now. I don't know what's going on. Alright, seems fixed. I'm going to edit all that out, but I had some mouse issues. So now, one of the things you can do if you have starting money left over from your last run is you can invest in upgrading your weapon, which I am going to do. I'm going to need to buy some bars, 25 to be exact, a bit of wood, and then I will spend some gems and all this stuff to upgrade my Falcon to +1. Also, I know that's not how it's pronounced, and fuck you. So I've got a bit more money. I might have enough to get another upgrade. I lied, I don't. Maybe I do. No, I don't. Alright, well, I can't do math, as is well established by this video series. So instead, we're going to buy a lot of rocks. We're going to take those rocks. I'm going to talk about a gameplay mechanic, which is shrines. They appear all over the world. You can give them materials for a bonus. This guy gives a attack power bonus. This game has a lot of meters and a lot of numbers, so I'm going to try to explain them all. We'll start with a weapon at the bottom. You notice there's a number at the top and a number at the bottom, and two sets of numbers. So that's because this has two attacks, a regular swipe, and a faster, weaker swipe. The number at the top is the damage, and then the number at the bottom is the power. And power is useful for stuff like breaking rocks or crates. If you have more power, you can chop down trees, chop down rocks. If you don't, then your weapon kind of just bounces off stuff. So here we are in our first area. See if I can find an enemy or two to murder. These are mementos. If I had experience, I could pay for one. They are much like your standard roguelite items. They do a certain thing. You have to play a lot to figure out exactly what they do, though. We'll see that a bit later. Alright, we got some potions. So potions can be thrown. And they have a random effect, of course. This one froze me in place. This one looks like it's regen. It's pretty good. And I have no idea what that one did. But let's kill this wizard real quick. And this wizard. So your defensive options in this game amount to a dodge, a parry, which is very useful, and that's about it. You'll notice that I swing my weapon very ponderously. It's a very slow-paced game. I would almost say janky, except it kind of works for what it does. Many people in the Steam comments compared this to a certain game that everyone loves to compare games to now, with a stamina meter and tough bosses. You know what I'm talking about? It's Dark Souls. If this is 2D Dark Souls, I wouldn't say the comparison is exactly accurate, but in the fact that combat is slow, weapons take a while to wind up, sure. These birds over here are pretty annoying. The goal is to make them fly into a wall and just murder themselves. Like so. And of course everything drops experience gems. So what I'm looking for is a way out of this area, and that would be a mirror. I can take a look at my map here. Looks like I still haven't gone all the way north. There we go. This one goes to the swamp. And I'm going to buy a memento, not because I really need one, but just to show off how they work. So this is the nail of a giant. What it does, don't ask me, I don't know. I could look at my character, look at this giant nail, and the more you play, or the more you pick up stuff, the more this section over here is filled out, which will tell you exactly what this does. So right now, I have no idea. I just know my something, something, something. I've played this game quite a bit, although I don't really pick up mementos that much, but I feel like it takes a very long time to unlock what mementos do. Either way, we're going to jump in here and fight our first boss. This is the Bandit Lord. He comes with minions. He's pretty easy. I say as I get wrecked. That's a parry. It stuns opponents. So my armor gauge just got torn through real quick. Now's a good time to talk about healing surges. I have 3 of them. Pop one and get some health back. And they regen after the boss fight. So that guy's bleeding out. He's gonna be dead soon. I want to take care of this archer. And now we can fight the Bandit Lord. He's actually pretty easy once his minions are gone. All you have to do is parry his axe, hit him a few times, repeat, as long as it doesn't take out the bow. And it's always best to use your surges before the boss is dead, because I'll refresh immediately when he dies. Surges also hurt people, and they can break rocks and other stuff. Ooh. He dropped both his bow and his axe. The axe... Actually, the bow is what I'm going to take. The axe can smash stuff. It has a lot of power behind it, but the bow is probably going to be more useful if I fight a certain boss. So here's an experience book. This is how you keep your experience after runs. Every time you beat a boss, the one appears, and you can put your gems into it. I am not going to, because I'm trying to win this run. So let's go to the swamp. The swamp is a terrible place. It sucks. Everything here will poison you. Walking in water will make your little HP gauge, poison meter go up. You don't want it to get full. Let's see, is this better than what I have? No. So for the swamp, I try to get out of here as fast as possible. Which might be tricky if I have to kill some dudes first. So there's some food down by that campfire. So now's a good time to talk about the meters on the bottom left. So the one on the furthest left, the brown one, is your hunger meter. If it gets too high, you get really slow, so avoid that. The one next to it is your sound meter, so whenever I'm walking around I'm making noise. And the one to the right of that, the far right, is the heat meter. So if you get too hot or too cold, the meter will show either red or blue. Overall, you don't really have to worry about hunger a lot in this game, but it is a thing if you're really unlucky. Get out of here, wizard. Alright, so I'm going to try to get through this area relatively fast. Although that thing I kind of want. I have to kill this zombie, though. Alright, so this guy is a spellbook. I could destroy it for some experience, or I could pay and get a spell. I'm going to grab Summon Lightning Elemental. Also, I'm going to destroy all this stuff so I can get some wood. Wood is used for arrows. And a lot of food. Let's see, cemetery? Yeah, let's go there. Next boss up is the Primordial Jelly. He is a pretty easy boss. If he decides to attack me, I don't know what he's doing right now. There we go. So his thing is, if you move too far away from him, he'll rush at you. Which you can use to your advantage, although I'm not right now. The bad thing about him is when you hit him, he spits out more blobs. So once he gets small enough, this will be easier. Maybe. Alright. Now I can dodge him pretty easy. I kind of just run away from the blobs, wait for him to come to me. Out of stamina, which is the white meter at the top left. My last healing surge, but I should be fine. Important thing to note, if you hit a wall with your weapon, you get stunned temporarily. So I'm being very careful about that. I also realized I never actually picked up that spell. So I can't, cast it, which is a bummer. We can talk about the stuff on the top right, though. I've kind of discussed it before. Those are crafting materials. They come in the form of wood, steel, stone, and the last one is glass, I think? Glass is pretty hard to get. Also, when this thing dies, it drops a human heart, which is a big health boost. A good reason to kill this boss. Bosses are the same in every area. So like the boss of the swamp is always a Primordial Jelly. Also, my foot has fallen asleep. It may be gone. I don't know. I feel nothing. I'm going to have to fix this. Hold on. Thoughts on this game. First of all, it's pretty hard. Second of all, it's pretty alright. When I first started playing it, I thought, this game's kind of janky. It's slow. It's weird to control. I thought it's not a very good game. But now that I've played it more, I actually kind of like it. Give me a spell. Raise Dead. Actually, you know what? I'm feeling Magic Beam. Let's see what this does. Not a lot. So I'm going to try to avoid most of the fights here from now on. Things start to get much more difficult as you progress. Like, there's way too many ghosts here for me to deal with. Too many wizards. So yeah, it is like Dark Souls. You can just run by all your problems. And now we get to another boss who is hiding off screen. We'll see him in a second. I want to take care of these cultists first, though. So that was a dodge. You can dodge through enemy attacks. My timing is usually really bad, so I don't try it. I prefer to parry, because that gives me a bigger window. Alright, this is why I got the bow. Because this guy hits like a truck. And I probably don't even have enough arrows to really do this, but I'm going to give it my best. By the way, that ritual thing that keeps bubbling up, if someone gets hit inside of that enough, it'll summon basically a bunch of more of these guys, except smaller. It opens up the gates of hell, more or less. So this is a little cheap on my part. I did not know you could do this, but now that I do, I'm going to do it every time. Alright, I have to get in there now. Do some actual dirty work. Like I said, that guy hurts. You can dodge him if you're good, but I'm not very good, so I usually try not to. Yeah, I did it. I did the blood ritual. Nothing's really going on, though. It's kind of lame. Alright, so we're going to move on to the last... Oh! There's a dude. We move on to the last area. There are branching paths. There are, I think, 5 gods in total. And 5 different paths that will take you to different kinds of gods. And your job is, of course, to kill those gods. So I'm going through what I think is one of the easier paths, although this level is kind of a pain to deal with. Both because of the zombies and because of the ghosts. I still don't really have a good way to deal with those ghosts. So, I'm not gonna. What I am gonna do is try to find the exit. That is a void elemental. I do not want to mess with him. There's also a bunch of traps in this area. And more ghosts. Whoa, a rock. Alright, bad news, I'm bleeding out. Once you get past the main bar into the secondary bar on the left, then you start to bleed out. And I have no more surges, so there's really no coming back from this. So I think that's going to be the run. I went really fast to the last part just because it's really hard, but I didn't quite make it. And I retained almost no experience, so no help for my next run. But hey, that's in celebration of violence.